Faraz, Shauketaly.
And top of the morning to you. This is Newsline, live almost always, but today we are live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Clambo. It's good to be back on the program, and starting the proceedings this morning is a man who hopefully will give us some inspiration, some hope, and we're talking about the state of the tourism industry and its impact after 21/4. He's right here with us, the chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Johan Jayaratne. Very good morning to you.
Thank you for having me here.
Your offices have just moved slightly, isn't it? You were at aviation before.
Yes, of course.
Almost next door on the Gold Road.
But I was on the periphery of tourism, so
yes.
It's good to be here. It's a crisis situation, but we are very positive.
How deep is the crisis?
I would like to say that the product is in place.
Right.
What we need is the numbers.
Right.
And that is what we're focusing on right now.
Right. When you say the product, what do you mean?
Whether it be the cultural triangle, the Dalada Maliga, whatever it might be, it is all in place.
Right.
It was never damaged.
Right.
So what we need right now is to make sure that the volume
is up again.
Yeah.
So obviously the product's the same. Our beaches are still there.
Of course.
Cultural triangle is still there.
Yes.
Rich culture and history is still in place, and our hotels are ready.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like this for us. The way I look at this is, yes, we went through a crisis.
Yeah.
And there's a major amount of empathy out there in the world.
Yes.
To help us to recover.
Yes.
And I want the message to go out to say, we are ready as a country. We are ready. And to focus on what we have always, put out there.
Our hospitality.
Absolutely.
Our
absolutely.
smiles.
Absolutely, yes. Right. Because what happened, but we cannot continue to live in that past.
So we can't wallow in that sort of misery.
No. My message is make it happen. Going forward.
Make it happen. How are we going to make it happen? Have you?
If you were to look at what we're doing right now, we are putting an India package together.
Right.
Going forward.
They are number one visitors to
absolutely. That's the key market right now. Between the Hoteliers Association, the Inbound Tourism Association, and Sri Lankan Airlines.
Right.
These three entities have come together, and they are putting together a package.
Right.
And we are going to drive that. During the first week of June, we will go ahead and launch that.
Right.
That package.
Okay.
Following that will be the Chinese market.
Okay.
And then I'm hoping that we can also tap into the UK and get the European market opened up. So this is a strategy.
So the Europe is looking at its holiday season starting around July.
Yeah.
For the summer.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll be ready with your package by then?
Absolutely.
And to encourage visitors to return to Sri Lanka or visit it for the first time, and for return and repeat visitors who want to come to Sri Lanka and to make a statement to say that they are supporting Sri Lanka in this latest sort of problem to affect the country, what sort of price can we see tourists, potential visitors being offered a price reduction?
At the moment, the feedback that I'm getting from the industry is about a 60% reduction.
Right.
Overall.
Okay.
But there are mixed messages because I don't particularly know how they want to discount going forward, but I'm looking at about a 60% discount on the rack rate.
Now, we have a national airline for which every taxpayer in this country is pouring a lot of money into. Are these the ideal is this the ideal situation for us to actually realize we've got a national airline and we can make use of it?
Very interesting point. if I were to address it this way, we have empty capacity.
Yeah.
No matter what, whether it be the airline or the hotels or whatever.
Yeah.
There are two thought trends on this one. Can we just fill the capacity at whatever cost? Mm-hmm. Or are we going to drop the standards? This is what the industry is saying.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is, if we have capacity, let's fill it.
Let's fill the capacity.
Let's fill it. Yeah.
Right. Because I'm told that about 180,000 people are working directly in the hotel industry. Is that about right?
That's about right. Yeah. Yeah.
So on that basis, if you were to take an average of 25,000 rupees per person in terms of what they make out of the 10% service charge, in the hotel industry, the service charge is what drives the industry. Basic salaries are traditionally very, very low. And if you take 25,000 times 180,000 people, you end up with about 4 billion rupees. That money is going to be out of the economy starting the end of May. With this paycheck, people will see that their service charge has been impacted. And that's a big chunk of money to come out of the economy. And I hate to think about the cascading effect on that. So how are these relief measures coming along?
The relief measures for us are very much in place.
Right.
They're going all the way down to the waiter, if you may, or the tuk-tuk driver, if you may. It's all cascading down.
Yeah.
But I would like to see more speed in the process, and I would also like to see more focus on those things, because at the end of the day, just like you said, come May, we will have a crisis.
Yeah.
And this has to be addressed. Yeah. So my request to the hierarchy is that we address all of these things and make sure that the bottom line is addressed. And the funds are there. The funds are there.
The funds are there. I'm going to ask you a series of questions based on what you just said. One of them is, do you detect that our politicians at least now realize that when it comes to certain things, that they're better off letting the professionals run it?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Because I'm going to be very candid here.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the top was not present to address this situation. Yeah. Now the industry has to take charge.
Yes.
And that's what my focus is. Make sure that the industry and all of us get together from an industry standpoint and drive this forth.
The other thing is, when State Minister Ran Wickramaratne initially made this statement about the moratorium, about the relief package, there were some things that we looked into, and one of them was that the bank shall look into cases on a case-by-case basis. The moment I read that, I shuddered, because to me, behind that case-by-case basis would be a political person, or a politically exposed person, or even a minister, or somebody lurking in the background to cut a deal in the guise of helping somebody. So is that true? Is it all going to be on a case-by-case basis?
Happy to say it's not going to be a case-by-case basis.
That's excellent.
It's blanket.
It's blanket.
Yeah.
So anybody in the industry who feels needs a moratorium can put his case forward.
Absolutely. Okay. Yes.
What about people who work within the industry, who are not necessarily hotel owners, but who work there, who are captains, who are chefs, who are waiters, doormen, what have you, gardeners? What about them? Will they be able to also be part of this moratorium?
Absolutely. The criteria right now is, as long as they're registered with the Sri Lanka Tourism, they're eligible, no matter what.
So if the establishment is registered they have a chance.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you feel that there is a place for a claim, especially considering that for the last so many years after the war finished, the tourism has been up and up? So much so that TripAdvisor named Sri Lanka as the best place to travel to in 2019.
Absolutely. We are the third tier in the Sri Lankan economy.
I see. And so there is no doubt that have they gazetted all this?
Of course.
No?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's part of. There's no excuses now.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Right.
not. Yeah.
Because obviously the banks also, even though they've been reported to have made significant profit gains, but is there a case though? All these hotels and so on, some people say, well, you know, we've got no sympathy for them because they've made a lot of money in the last 10 years. But how do you offset that? Is there been a lot of investment in tourism-related assets over the last 10 years?
Absolutely. There's a lot of foreign investment coming in,
Right.
and we need to somehow sustain that.
Right.
And my philosophy on this thing is
Yeah.
that we need to look forward.
Yeah. And as a person who spent quite a bit of your life outside of Sri Lanka, what's your feedback from people outside? Are they willing to come? Are they willing to return to this trouble-torn island?
There's a lot of interest for us
Yeah.
overall, but I'm going to go out on a limb out here.
Yeah.
I believe that this is a pivotal moment for this country.
Yeah.
It's a tipping point.
Right.
We are fighting against international terrorism.
Yeah.
And Sri Lanka has all the empathy
Yeah.
right now.
How are we capitalizing on that?
Absolutely. I don't think we are doing as much as we should,
Right.
but I think we really should, focus on this and take a message to the world
Right.
to say, we are a peaceful nation. We've survived so many, onslaughts,
Yeah.
if you may.
Yeah.
And today we are dealing with a new, challenge.
Yeah.
But the world is with us.
The world is with us, but how are we taking that message? Where is your advertising strategies and so on?
It's not there yet, but we need to. We
But
need
why,
to go there.
what's holding you back? I know you're not in your job for too long yet, but still.
I will definitely pursue this
Yeah.
particular angle, but we need to. We need to. get this-
Where's the advertising on CNN and
Very good question.
on News First? and so on?
Right now, we are kind of scaling back because the message has to be changed.
Right.
But we will definitely keep.
What is the message? Is the message that Sri Lanka, the product is the same? The product's waiting? Nothing's wrong with the product?
Absolutely, it's all there. We just need to get people to come back, and we need to have the local
Yeah.
element
Yeah.
activated. People of Sri Lanka need to get out there
Yeah.
and live a normal life.
Yeah.
That's the only message that I can put out there. We need to go out there and be what we have always been.
As the chairman of the Sri Lanka Tourist Development Authority and having your office just almost in front of one of the hotels that were actually
Yeah.
bombed out, what are your thoughts on when you see all the presence, the visibility of the armed forces out there? Do you want to see less of them but more of the security measures, or what's the mix?
It's a very, very good question. I've been thinking about this.
Yeah.
The military presence is a good thing.
Yeah.
It gives a level of comfort to the traveler.
Yeah.
But in time, it will be scaled down, just like what we experienced during the war.
Yeah.
But it is an important element, to say the least.
The Bandaranaike airport was a shadow of itself a couple of days ago when I came back. It was almost like a mortuary, really. And it was sad to see. You had all these people waiting, immigration and so on. Customs are all in place, and the only thing missing was the incoming passengers numbers. On the flight that I was on, we had approximately 40 people on that flight from Abu Dhabi to Colombo, and a number of them were transit passengers going on to the region. And true visitors to the country were very, very limited. I think I counted 5. So what is the message? How can you take it out? When are you going to start? Because the longer you leave it, the rot's going to set in.
Yeah. If I were to throw some statistics out there,
Yeah.
Last year we did 2.3 million arriving tourists. That amounts to about 6,000 a day.
Okay.
Today we are at about 1,200.
Oh, so it's a big...
So it's a 80% drop,
Right.
essentially 75 to 80%. So we need to somehow, get that number up.
How does that... your plans, how do they gel with what's happening or what has happened elsewhere in the region, where they were also victims of international terrorism, like in Bali and so on? How did they bounce back?
Well, if you look at Bali, they recovered in 8 months.
Okay.
So what we need to do right now is, like I said before, we need to launch this Indian package, and everyone is on board on that one. We will roll it out first week of June.
Right.
That will get the number to some extent. And like I said before, we will get China to follow. And then, of course, the challenge is going to be getting Europe on board. So at the end of the day, Faraz, it's a question of getting the travel advisories relaxed a little bit.
And I noticed that, I know we've discussed this privately about the cost of insurance and the availability of insurance, but whilst I was abroad, I did a bit of research and found out that a traveller from the UK, travelling to, let's say, to the US, their travel insurance specifically excludes terrorism-related claims.
Sure.
Now, what's the problem in Sri Lanka? It's the same thing. Terrorism is a global problem.
Yeah. Now, thank you for asking that question, because if you look at the European traveler right now, they are not covered.
Right.
Period.
Because of the travel advisory.
Exactly.
Okay.
So my contention on that is we need to somehow provide that insurance coverage to the tune of $150,000 US dollars.
This is covering what? The repatriation, medical expenses?
Whatever it might be across the board.
Okay.
And we need to do it gratis.
Okay. So it's going to be done gratis. The first thing that comes to my mind is Sri Lanka Insurance. It's a company that's majority owned by the government.
Yeah, and underwritten by the Treasury.
Okay.
Very simple.
Is this a package you're working out?
We are working on it right now. There are two trends of thought on this one.
Okay.
One is our confidence by offering this type of coverage. The other is, are we not safe?
Yeah. Thank you for your questions. It's right through here. The number to SMS your questions is 0772 300 305. Our new producer, John, will probably put it on your screen right now. One of the first questions that I received earlier, let me just read it out, if I may, Johan. Just food for thought. Some tourists come for special offers given by Visa or MasterCard. I think tourism promotion should think about such things. Is it something that you all are thinking about?
Absolutely. Thank you to the person who sent this. This Indian campaign is based along the lines of MasterCard coming online with us.
Okay.
So that is taken care of. Yeah.
Okay, good. Before our commercial division gets angry with me, these are general brand names that I need to talk about. Another one here. Please tell us in detail, what are the quality products Sri Lanka has to offer tourists in comparison to other countries in Asia?
That's a wide question.
I can help you. Koneshwaran Temple. in Trincomalee.
Of course.
The beaches on the east coast of Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
the rich cultural heritage, the boutique hotels in Sri Lanka, the splendor of a cottage up in the hills, in the misty, within the misty estates, or the tea estates up country. I hope we're getting there.
May I hire?
Yeah.
You're doing a wonderful job. Yeah, exactly. There are varied products, whether it be culinary, whether it be wellness,
Yeah.
whether it be the beaches, whatever it might be. There are a wide variety of product offerings that we have.
Yeah, the Tamili on the wayside as
Exactly,
well.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the Tamili sellers are moving up in life. They're now giving it to you with a straw and also something to trap the drops coming in. So they're thinking. Things are moving up. So Sri Lanka has this product.
Of course.
And we have those wild elephants along the side of Dambulla Road as well.
Exactly.
That's a product too.
Yeah.
So we're there. So how are you going? How about the people at Sri Lanka Airlines? Are they with you on this? Are they going to give you their empty seats to market?
I sure hope so. I really hope that they do.
Are you all meeting regularly?
We are.
Okay. And things will happen?
Of course. It's just a matter of time.
Because now the government suddenly realized that the professionals, they need the professionals. Are they phoning you and bullying you to do anything? Or is there nothing to bully here?
They really are. They really are. Everything is very proactive,
Okay.
but a little late in the day, but yet for all. We are getting there.
Better late than never.
Absolutely.
What do you want us to do? Us as in the media?
Faraz, if I may say this, I mentioned this to you earlier as well. There has to be very responsive journalism in this country.
Yeah.
Everything has to be fact-checked. Because there are so many messages going out there,
Yeah.
which is very detrimental to what we are trying to do.
Indeed.
One voice and everyone to come together, whether it be from the governmental side or from a journalism standpoint. What I personally would like to see is one voice. going
Indeed,
forward.
absolutely. I was going to read one, before I respond to that, I'm going to read one more question or a statement that somebody sent in. It says there that whilst I was helping you to tell us about this product, the Sri Lanka product,
Yeah.
somebody's saying here that I've forgotten to give one product, and so I'm going to put that right. They're saying that the one place I forgot is that there's a place in Colombo where you can get 225 monkeys grouped together, and that is a tourism attraction. I'm not saying anything more, but that's there. But I wanted to respond to you on the other one and say that here at News First, you came onto our news floor, and we have a tradition here. You don't talk about any story unless you can fact back it with proof, positive. And you'll be shouted down and sent out of the room if you try to speculate, or speculative stories are not there. You can work on the speculation and see if there is fact, and it will only be sent out on air provided that our stories can stand up not only in a court of law, but there's another place within our group where it's got to stand up to, and that's called the Group Legal Director's Office. Mm-hmm. If you're hauled in there, you might as well give up and go home, because we all work here to ensure that we don't get taken in there, because that's a problem then.
Sure.
And everyone here is committed to responsible journalism, and we all hope that we will be able to translate responsible journalism to responsible governance, because we journalists are not against government, but we are against corruption and poor delivery. And so we hope that in your quest to put our country back on the tourism map, to be reconsidered by all those tourists who probably missed the TripAdvisor statements saying that Sri Lanka is the best place to travel to. To all those people, your message, you need to get your CNN and your worldwide advertising campaign going. When do you think it'll kick in?
Within the next 6 months.
Within the 6?
Yes.
Well, whilst you're doing that, News First would like to assure you that we be working on the other lot, the 225,
right,
towards guiding them, steering them towards this. We can see it in the horizon. We can see good governance on the horizon, and we are trying to steer them through these muddied waters of corruption. Sure. And steady departures from due process and so on. So we'll be doing that and creating a level playing field for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Faraz.
To bring the tourists in.
If I may interject.
Please.
This is my third interview with you. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here and to show, what we can do for this country.
Indeed.
And whether it be with aviation or tourism or whatever, you have always showcased, what is right for this. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate News First.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, if you want to get your questions across on whatever the subject that is bothering you or tickling your fancy, send it by SMS only, please, to 0772 300 305. We've got a couple more minutes. If you want to send us some questions, please do. In the meantime, another person is asking, how can investors look at our country when the perpetrators are robbing the central, or who robbed the central bank, are still governing? Well, I don't think that's a question that Mr. Jayaratne is going to be able to answer. We won't put you into too much hot water, but how bureaucratic is your tourism development authority?
I'm really happy to say this, and I say this with a lot of belief.
Yeah.
We have a minister who is very, very proactive.
Is he?
I'm very, very glad to be working with him.
Right.
And so is a state minister.
Right.
Very proactive, and we need to see this industry take off again. Like I said before, this is not a question of crisis management or recovery or whatever it is. We need to go forward on this.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but from the government side, what would you like to see them do a little bit quicker, a little bit better?
One voice.
One voice.
That's it.
Have you all considered having a brand ambassador for tourism?
It has been talked about a lot.
Yeah, but action?
I don't see it happening right off the bat, but one voice is the way forward.
You said bat. Does that mean Kumar Sangakkara?
No.
Okay.
No.
But things like becoming the first person of any color to be the president of the MCC surely helps our European tourism.
Sure, of course. But we need to look at it from a cohesive standpoint.
Right.
We need the political parties to get together.
Right.
And come up with this one voice. That's all I want. That's all I want.
And how big is the problem when you have legislators who want to be, who want to be governing democratically? How difficult is your job when you find that lack of governance and the incidents of corruption and so on are high on the prominent list? When they are on the front pages, how difficult is your job?
It's very simple. From where I sit,
yeah.
It's a question of moving the industry forward. And governance has to, kick in at some point.
Yeah.
My job is just to get the industry going. That's all there is to it.
We had somebody from the hotel industry before 21/4 who told me that one of the things a tourist looks for is stability and safety.
Of course.
So we are neither stable in terms of our political outlook, And as far as our safety is concerned, there's now been a question mark. How difficult is your job now?
It's challenging, certainly challenging. It's a question of bringing all of these, elements into play,
Right.
and balancing it out.
Would it help if we had new leaders? Is that
that's a very good question. No, I truly believe that within this framework,
Yeah.
we can make it happen. We can make it happen as long as everybody gets together.
So one voice, one nation, one country.
That's it.
How important is one law for everyone?
Very important. Critical.
Johan Jayaratne, thank you very much for being on Newsline. Really appreciate your time. That's the way it was on Newsline this morning. Take care, have a great and safe day ahead of you. And of course, God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.